Do you remember our little Goblin Solo vacuum cleaner that we picked up from eBay for 300 whole pence a little while ago? Well, it's been refurbished, it's been restored, it's been heavily modified, and bless it, it's still a little bit of a disastrous basket case, but a pretty fun one now that it's been tinkered with. Let's have a look at everything and how it came up and see what this very bottom of the line 1980s vacuum cleaner is like now. Yes, hello, my vacuum cleaner and Goblin chums. Proper Goblin, not modern, horrible, bad engineered Goblin. This is my Goblin Solo 350E that we picked up not a very long time ago from good old Facebook Marketplace. And I mean, it's pretty much the same. The tools have all been washed. You will see there is now no red tape with the word Goblin on. I mean, as silly as it looks, you know, if I didn't have all my tools in an individual bag and knew by sight, because I'm quite sad, roughly what goes with what, I probably need to. So, you know, the floor head, bless it, this seems to have some sort of soft touch coating, which is doing what soft touch coating from the 80s and 90s does, and just going horrible and peeling. I probably need to put some trim protector on it when I get the car cleaning box out next. But underneath, I knocked back the worst of the rust, which was luckily on the bits of the base plate that I could reach. And then I wire wheeled the edge brushes, and they are now spotless and lovely. And yeah, this floor head is ready to gobble up some dust. What else do we have? We have our two complete sets of tools. The other one is somewhere else. Now, actually, no, one set of tools. I think I've already put the other set away. So this is the set that will stay with the machine. It's pretty much identical to the other set. Finally, the hose. I haven't actually done anything with the hose yet. This is a little bit of a rush job because there's a group of us meeting up this Saturday coming at the time of filming this. Long ago, by the time this video goes out, I want to take this with me, so I gave it a good old rush job, but didn't have time to clean the hose, so that's fine. I didn't want it to be wet and take ages to dry. Finally, we have our fits-all head, because as we remember from the before video, it actually works better than the Goblin head, which isn't surprising at all. This is, quite frankly, a horrible floor head. It was horrible on all the machines that used it. Hoover had a go at this in the 80s, very quickly switched to this pretty much exact floor head for the Aqua Master. Everybody tried, and it was rubbish. Even Goblin changed the floor head, didn't they? For the Rio that I've got has a different head. Good old Goblin, just use what is about. On to the machine, and I mean, I haven't machine polished it, I've just sifted it and buffed it, and it's okay. I've got whatever that sticky thing was off of the top there. Underneath is, well, as you know from the before video, and I've done some more, heavily cube bonded. The front wheel does just about rotate, but as long as it just skims along the floor like a little skinny pad, that's okay. Obviously this machine's second biggest issue, because that was pretty much its biggest, is that this back door now doesn't clip on, because yeah, the clip is broken. It also doesn't fit on fully properly either. As I was putting this all together and fiddling about it, I don't think it should have just had this seal. I think we were seeing the remains of something else. What I've done is stuck draft excluded to it, and as you can see from me picking it down and trying to, you know, make it a bit thinner, it's not fitting quite right. It does fit, it does create suction, but as soon as you, if actually that's not too bad, you'll see it sort of moves forwards from there. That's still not really worth caring about, and because this isn't clipped down, this bit's a little bit iffy, but what can you do for £3? And that's why these machines are so rare. This would have been doing this anyway, even if I hadn't done what I'm about to tell you happened. And that's why they just didn't survive. They would have just got thrown away. They would go, oh, let's buy that nice new Dyson thing. And obviously it would have filled its bin up 10 times on one room. We have a lay bag. Haven't managed to find any way to HEPA flow this year. I did have a brief go, but sadly, where this bag holder thing is here, by the time you poke the hose through, there's not really enough space on the side, and annoyingly, where the bottom slopes down, unless you really hack pretty much all of the connector off, you can't fit the connector on there. So it could be done, but you know, why bother? We have lots of bags now, because I went up into my stash and found 2 more same bags as a Goblin Iota. Where's that? We have a filter which is off, and I will tell you why in a minute. So that is the front side of this machine. Let me get it turned on and we'll hear what it sounds like now after a full refurbishment. Here we go then, our little Goblin Solo. Runs really well. You can see the back door. That's annoying. That's why I've had to put that seal there, because there was just nothing. And I think, yeah, there should have been, I don't think it should be that thick. Mr. Steve from the Vintage Appliance Emporium has, getting all of his Goblin Solos down. And I've asked him if he could take me a picture of what the seal should look like. You can see, look, there's a nice white filter here. This is actually an S-Class pattern Dyson DCO2 filter that is just there. Then I put a load of foam sound damping underneath, which has done absolutely nothing. It's also not got its original motor. Most of that is still here. I mean, here is a perfectly good coil. I unsoldered the wires from this, thinking that the coil would come out, but Goblin pressed the coil in, and I've done this before on a Commander, and it's a horrible job. So I left all that in, didn't have to take that off. So there's the coil for this little Goblin. It's a cheap, you know, 1980s style of cheap generic motor. There's everything else, but the problem is I took the flipping bearings off, and I mean, I have fitted new ones. They doesn't matter anymore. Problem is they're pressed on so tightly I couldn't really do it, and I was trying. I got the bearing on that much. Problem is, what I then did is just destroy the armature. I didn't notice, didn't think that this was cutting into there. And yeah, unfortunately, I mean, I've got a decent coil and back end and a fan and fan, basically everything bar this bit. You need to take this from the other motor. I have. So let's see if I still have it when you message me in a couple of years asking for it. What's in here is some random, I think it's 1,000 watt, which we can probably check, but I can't be bothered to get the plug out at the minute. 1,000 watt Domel motor. Here's a picture. Here is the motor that I put into this machine. It fits perfectly. I mean, it wasn't making that annoying sound. Wasn't making that annoying wind down sound before, but it is now. And this now isn't sealing up properly at all. I think the whole thing's a bit warped. Even when it's on, it doesn't sit quite right. But eventually, oh yeah, there. Eventually, the suction comes up good enough. Again, this clip not being on doesn't help. The fact that I think the sealing stuff that I've got on is too thick. The other big problem is that, in fact, I can probably show you where this new motor sits quite a bit closer. It's literally right up against that grill there. It makes filtration a little bit of a problem. Hear how blocked it gets when I put this filter on. I mean, that is no good at all. It's a shame because I went up into the box and found these specific Goblin filters. Look, ours is probably not on there because they're the same thing. It's just a round disc. Fortunately, these do the same. Not as bad, but that's soon going to destroy itself, and there's just no point. I mean, it's not the bestest machine in the world for filtration anyway, so I don't really care. We're just going to run just a paper bag, isn't that horrible? I don't think this motor's possibly the best fit for it, but yeah, something isn't quite sealing correctly, and I've got a feeling it's probably due to all of this falling down. So we may have to revise the seal situation another day. Hopefully Mr. Stephen has given me some nice photos. But it's going to work well enough now for us to connect it all together and do some vacuuming. Those of you who follow my channel know that this month I am using, it's April currently, a little Makita hand vac with its cyclone attachment. So we can actually put a little bit of test dirt down. Oh, I forgot I used this to pick up filth from a refurb. Oh well, that paper bag is going to be a problem. But, you know, we can pick it up and we'll even use the horrible floor head too. When you don't clog the hose and make the door shift and do whatever it does to lose the suction, just let it crack on, it's got its airflow back. This head is still horrible, but it does, you know, make an attempt to clamp itself down. The biggest victory is all of the air, or 90% of it, not coming out of there. So I think it's going to be good enough forever, really. I don't know. There's certainly no point buying me. There's a lovely Goblin Solo in grey on Facebook Marketplace for 20 quid. There's just no point doing much more with this. Maybe you could have a different motor in it. But that motor fits fine. I think its big problem now is trying to get this bag door to seal properly. The clip tries to do something, but it then just slips back out. So we're going to pop this head back on, which is why I refurbished it, because, you know, it is a lot better. Screw that down nicely onto there. Oh, sorry I haven't done it properly. It's actually missing one of its springs. I lost it and I haven't found it yet. And I put the other one in here, so that won't work properly. So it's not going to be great for hard floor. Quite frankly, I don't care, because that head will be fine for hard floor. But for the carpet, well, it's a lot better. Oh, that makes a noise. Oh yeah. This head works so well, it clamps itself down so much, it then causes the air leak to occur. Oh dear, oh dear. But still, it could be worse. I still have you know, if you look at it without knowing anything about what we just seen, it would be a lovely example of a complete, because of the manual and all of the tools, Goblin Solo, which is again, like we said, a fairly rare thing. These just don't survive unless they're put up in the loft rather than put out in the skip. And yeah, £3, I'm pretty happy with it. I'd be delighted if I saw it at the car boot and passed it by. So the fact that it came from eBay, I haven't had much stuff from eBay for a while. Again, it was just because it was local, really. Would you pick something like this up for £3 if it was local? And if I hadn't touched the motor and just flipping left it, which I really wish I hadn't done because it wasn't making that bad of a noise anyway, it would be a lot better. But equally, that motor is horrible and noisy, but then so's this. So I guess it's always going to be a very noisy, very shrill vacuum cleaner. Do you have a 1980s Goblin cylinder or indeed a Goblin Solo? I know they did these with, you know, nice chord rewind and variable power. That would have been nicer, although it still would have probably had a broken bag door clamp. But we have it now. We shall see what we shall do with it. We've certainly saved its life. So until the next little rescue, I, and possibly this goblin, will see you soon. Bye bye.